what you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are and whenever you're listening to us. This is the MG Show on 9/11/2025. We've got a double whammy today. As of yesterday, the passing of the great Charlie Kirk. A lot of people are, mourning him today. There's going to be a lot of upheaval. It literally is a turning point in America, as was 9/11/2001, guys. And Shady Groove, welcome. This is a heavy day for me, and I know it is a heavy day for everybody today.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Leaving you yesterday on the upbeat didn't last for very long in the day before we saw the unbelievable footage that you saw yesterday of an assassin's bullet taking the life of an American patriot who lived without fear. I'd like to say that. I think that's the main thing that I want to say to everybody is that you were witnessing a man who was assassinated yesterday, who, like many Americans who came before him, and like many Americans that we stand here and we honor today on this day every year, he lived without fear. And I think that a lot of us need to take a few lessons from understanding how to be strong in a moment and how to realize that as Americans, I don't agree with almost 70% of people that are out there, maybe even more, but at no point should anyone think that any one of us are we should be dead for our opinions or our perspective. And let's be clear about something real quick. Also, this man was not a politician. He was not elected to office. He had a reputation for having strong opinions, and he had strong opinions about his Lord and Savior, and he had strong opinions about the subject of abortion that were very, very tough for people to argue with him whenever he would argue with them. And
transgenderism and mass murders, school shootings.
And if you watched him argue, we as a society could glean a lot from the way that he argued. I did not agree with Charlie Kirk on a number of issues.
But that's okay.
But that is absolutely okay. And I didn't think that Charlie Kirk characterized 9/11 properly. Is one thing that I saw that Charlie Kirk didn't have it right on. Maybe some things about Israel and Palestine and that relationship that I saw out there that he had a weird take on. But that does not take away from the idea that he woke up a generation, Jeff, like you think about like what you were doing when you were 18, and I think that might be a good place to start today. Think about what you were doing when you were 18.
I was a stripper.
You're a damn good one.
The assembly of film images, guys, don't get crazy.
So all of us have a reverence to people that do something amazing, no matter really who they are. As Americans, that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we've always done in the past. Somehow that's being taken away from us right now, and there's a course correction in our future. And I think that we're all going to be better for the people that stand up because Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
Yeah, and I've noticed some things as well. You know what I mean? I've noticed some things as well that's happening. Last night there was in Idaho there was a confrontation. They want to engage in violence, but the people were yelling white. What was it? White men fight or something to that effect. And I just got to let you know that it concerns me a little bit because of the Posobiec narrative of white boy summer, and it's still summer until October 31st of this year. And I just, I'm praying that people don't, get violent.
Well, look at what they're doing. Right now we are in a very a powder keg type moment here, because what's going to happen is the military industrial complex, they're already starting to activate.
Yeah. I also want to bring some eyes to this kind of crap right here. We're going to be
crap.
You guys are going to be attached to this too because of fake decodes, and I'm freaking sick of it. Charlie's wife posted Psalm 46:1. Q drop 461. What makes a good movie? Great actors. Q. Charlie Kirk equals 105 in gematria. Movie good. This is the kind of shit that needs to stop right now.
It's insane, man. I mean, it really is. It's stuff like that, but they're doing it everywhere. They're doing it. They're already saying, the rattle trap guys are out there already saying that Charlie Kirk was taken by the white hats and he wasn't really killed. So they're taking away from his death. This is a way to remove the air of martyrdom. Okay, yeah. The establishment is going to try to stop him from becoming the martyr that he is, because he absolutely now is a martyr. And let me tell you something. The imagery that you saw yesterday was the imagery that the ones that did this wanted you to see a year ago. Mm-hmm. That's the imagery they wanted you to see on July 13th of 2024. And to them, that would have taken care of some stuff. This guy that was killed yesterday, Charlie Kirk, was potentially a presidential candidate.
Yeah. Yeah. And I loved Jesse's report on it yesterday. I just don't know where to start, guys, because, I'm not going to show the video. As soon as I saw the video, I knew.
Yes, sir.
We knew. We just were like, I was on the phone with Shady at the time. And the video came across and I was just like, wow.
Humans don't survive that.
And then I was thinking maybe it was a pro hit, but what we're learning is that it may not be a pro hit, okay? It may or may not be. And we've got some things that we want to talk about today. There's like this video right here. They were looking in the woods. This lines up. There was a lot of reporting yesterday. But I want to let's just go to it real quick, because I want to read it straight off the bat. Because if either they're planting this kind of stuff or it is this kind of stuff. First of all, let's look at Salt Lake City, Utah, right there. FBI Salt Lake released pictures of this gentleman right here. This is the person of interest. I also want to make a comment, too, about what transparency looks like, Shady Groove. You've got people hammering and hemming and hawing on Kash Patel because he's being transparent with you. You may not always like what you're seeing, okay? It may not be the guy, but that's what transparency looks like, guys, okay? He didn't make a mistake. He's not being careless. He's actually just being transparent, Shady.
And I think that that's a great point to make, and I'm so glad that you made it at the top of what we're talking about, because that is like the information that we talk about here. This is what the MG show is. The MG show is raw information shared with you in a format to where you can make up your own mind about what that information is. That is never a clean process. You'll never see this, we're the news and this is the news and this is how the news, and we're breaking the news. And like that symbolizes structure to the information. There's no need for structure to information. What you need is information so that you can make your own decision. And just like Jeff said, transparency is sometimes messy. And we don't know, like the first guy that they had, he was screaming and yelling, acting like, oh, arrest me, I have a right to remain silent. So if it was a professional operation, they could be using people to cause confusion, and also the clowns, quote unquote, maybe are trying to make the FBI look inept intentionally for optics.
You mean the military-industrial complex doesn't like Kash Patel, you think?
I don't think they like Cash or Dan, and I think that, I think lots of things.
I also want you to understand that, the ring switched fingers and all this crap. People don't realize that it's not it's a ring with a latch. Okay, guys, the stupidity, the ring moves. All right, let's just bring the sauce here, Shady, so people can see it.
Oh, you need to show it.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated yesterday. It's not fake. It's real. And he leaves behind his son and his daughter that he was taken way too soon, guys. Okay. And enough of the bullshit. So this is the ring. Ooh, wow. It latched open. Okay, guys? All right. Can we stop it now? Can we stop the crap, please? And honor Charlie Kirk and not dishonor him by putting fake decodes out there? Asking questions that are, there's a guy with a hat giving like this. Was he on it? Maybe he was. But does it... I actually think, Shady, and I'm just going to tell you, I think the guy asking the question was involved. I think the old man that's saying, shoot me, was involved. I think the other guy that was captured was involved to provide cover for the guy on the roof. Okay?
So we could get away.
Yeah.
So he could blend in with the crowd, and you would want to leave with the crowd whenever the crowd runs from the shot. You would want to immediately get down off the roof and just blend in with the crowd and move along. And so that would be how they would move him out there. It's like whenever we talk about a professional hit, you don't necessarily mean that the person that did the duty was the professional. We mean that the setup was professional. Yeah. Did you think Thomas Crooks was, you don't really think Thomas Crooks was a card-carrying member of the FBI, but you understand that there's some sort of other connections to him in the intelligence community. We could see that clearly. It's starting to unfold here. And things like he's not really dead, or that he's connecting to Q Post and somehow super secretly taken off to some island or something like that. Nonsense does not help anybody. It makes you look like crazy people.
So I want to just go over this real quick because this was released by Louder with Crowder. Okay, and it's starting to line up everything. Okay, everything is starting to line up. This alleged leaked email was from an ATF officer. The email includes a screenshot, as you see right here, from what appears to be an internal message describing a weapon and cartridges located by an ATF and other law enforcement near the scene of the Charlie Kirk shooting. And by the way, real quick, thank you, Land of Hoy. Thank you, Iron Eagle. Thank you, Candy Coated Kim, $100. Thank you so much, man. Oh, my God. Candle, thank you. Keep up the good work. So... the law enforcement. So this is they described the weapon. We already know what kind of weapon it is, and it's been confirmed now on Fox News. Okay, they're now starting to say, and they're also trying. Let's just read it. On September 10th, 2025, at approximately 12:24 p.m., conservative political influencer Charlie Kirk was shot and killed at the Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Mr. Kirk was speaking at the university as part of the American Comeback Tour. Multiple SLC and 1 and 3 agents responded immediately. Salt Lake City. The suspect fired one shot from an elevated position on the rooftop in an adjacent building on the campus, and the surveillance video shows the suspect jumping off and fleeing the area on foot. ATF and other law enforcement located an older model imported Mauser 30-06. That's .30-6 caliber bolt action rifle wrapped in a towel in a wooded area near the campus. Remember the video I just showed you of them hunting in the wooded area near the campus? So the location of the firearm appears to match the suspect's route of travel. The spent cartridge was still chambered in addition to 3 unspent rounds at the top fed magazine. Shady, okay? So we were talking about that. You were right. Yes, 4 rounds, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All cartridges have engraved wording on them expressing transgender and anti-fascist ideology. An emergency trace has been submitted, and ATF SLC is working leads generated by the trace. The firearm and ammunition have been taken by the FBI for DNA analysis and fingerprint impressions. Apparently, there's a palm print. Upon completion of forensics, the firearm will be disassembled for additional importer information. Multiple people of interest have having contacted or detained because of eyewitness testimony and review of video footage. The primary suspect is yet to be identified. ATF is assisting in the investigation with multiple other federal, state, local partners, and the case is co-led by the FBI and Utah SBI. So you see this right here? Multiple people of interest having contacted or detained because of eyewitness testimony and review of the video footage. Kash Patel was keeping you abreast of that the entire way.
And it feels unusual whenever the thing doesn't turn out to be exactly like what it was that was reported.
That's right.
But it doesn't discredit them. It actually gives them credibility because they're not sticking to the. Normally, they would just like put a guy out there and then never turn back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. So Starsky, it was. I see you asking questions about the gun. You think it was Mossad? Okay. I mean, we think. Okay. We think. Remember, we were talking about MK Ultra yesterday, guys.
No. And we were also talking about the significance of today and the significance of what Donald Trump has been doing to the Federal Reserve, which that type of pressure is going to cause this type of backlash in the system. They do not, what happens when bad news is about to break? There's a lot of bad news that's breaking right now against the Obama administration. And even yesterday, we're not even talking about the big news that came out yesterday of the 9/11 connection to Saudi Arabia, which connects you to your whole political elite class of the 1990s.
Yeah. Andy No is suggesting that the shooter is a member of a transgender extremist group. Don't recall their group's name. Well, makes sense. Antifa.
I was going to say CIA.
Yeah, CIA. Okay, so let's look at this. This is Investigators Today. Check it out.
Through all that work last night, we were
now remember what we just read you. Okay, Crowder got this before any of these comments. Okay, that you're seeing now on Fox News.
able to make a few breakthroughs. We were able to track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., this subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time. We are working through some technologies and some ways to identify this individual. If we are unsuccessful, we will reach out to you as the media and we will push that publicly to help us identify them. But we're confident in our abilities right now, and we would like to move forward in a manner that keeps everyone safe and moves this process appropriately. Last night I communicated with Erica. The family's devastated. As a commissioner of public safety, as a father, as a husband, I can only imagine what that family's going through. The heinous event that happened yesterday is not Utah. This is not what we're known for. Over the past several weeks, we've seen this state come together to help families in mourning, come together as a community to show what Utah is known for a state of character, of service, of camaraderie, of a neighboring feel. We will not stand for what happened yesterday. We are exhausting every lead. We have every officer invested in this, every investigator, every local agency. The outpouring of support from the law enforcement community has been astounding.
So you heard that. A lot of the stuff that we just read to you in that document looks like it's being confirmed, okay? So not only that, there's more, okay? Because there's something that came out afterwards as well. They continued on, and let me just get that right here. So apparent messages on the gun. Here we go. Check it out. And we just told you that it was transgender and anti-fascist. Check it out.
Action rifle in a wooded area. Well, now several federal sources confirmed to Fox News that messages were found written on both the gun and the ammunition here, and those messages are currently being reviewed by investigators. We can't confirm what were in those messages, only that messages were found scrawled on both.
They were about transgenderism and anti-fascism.
Both the gun and the ammunition that investigators have found, and that is under review right now. That gun will be having what's known as an urgent trace by the ATF. That is when they're going to try to find out where the gun was purchased, when it was purchased, what the possible chain of custody was. Keep in mind, the FBI also announcing earlier this morning they found a partial palm print. They also found some footprints, and they do have good surveillance video of the suspect. They just say they're not going to be releasing that video right now. They say those images show that person, whoever it is, jumping off a building and running off into a neighborhood, and that person appears to be college-aged. But again, Harris, multiple federal sources telling Fox News that messages of some kind were found written on both the gun and the ammo, and investigators right now looking at those messages, as here we are about 20 hours after this assassination and still no suspect in custody just yet. But it sounds like investigators are hot on this person's trail. That's all we got right now. Harris, we'll update as soon as we have more. We'll send it back to you.
Bill, thank you so very much. We are at a clip now about every 30 minutes.
Yeah, so that was Bill Mnuchin, and I had posted that underneath his, I said, you left out the transgender part, and then he's on Fox News several minutes later talking about this. Isn't that interesting?
I think that, yeah, that is interesting. Also, what you were mentioning earlier about the connection with the person that was asking the question. The question that was asked directly at that moment, right before he was shot, was a question about the number of mass shooters that were transgender. Now you're hearing that the bullet that shot Charlie Kirk more than likely had transgender ideology etched into the casing of the bullet. Okay? That would be an unbelievable coincidence that the person asking the question was the second person to ask a question, and that person shot Charlie with a bullet that had transgender ideology on it at the moment that he was being asked about how many mass shooters were transgender, guys.
Yep. That's why I think this is a group, okay? Just let's look back at what we already know about Crooks, right? He had like another phone with 14 other, like, in different languages, communications, and we need to find out about that too, guys, okay? We need to find out about all this shit. Okay,
well, Ralph is in court.
Because they, real quick, and yeah, and then let me, yeah, I forgot.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
I was just making the point that you were mentioning the 14 phones, and that reminded me of Ralph, and he's actually in court right now, which is, and representing himself, and no news is talking about that case at all.
And we were talking about MK Ultra, and Political Cartoon said, "Oh no, it's only to make them think they did." No, you can make people kill on MK Ultra. In fact, Jesse Ventura actually showed it, and I recorded it on my DVR at that time. They erased that episode off my DVR. Okay, it was Jesse Ventura showing that you can have MK Ultra and have somebody kill an entire audience, and it happened. Okay, they took it off. Mm-hmm. They went into my DVR. This was back in like early 2000s, Shady.
Yeah, I was going to say that was like before the iPhone, right? Like that was a long time ago. Jesse was doing those in the wake of 9/11. That whole show.
Yeah. What was it called? Jesse Ventura. Wow. Man, so if somebody can find that episode, you can see that he even said, like, he was walking back and it was talking to the guy, and he says, "Walk with the limp." Like the guy, programmed him to walk with the limp, and the guy limped.
That's actually, I completely forgot about that, but that is absolutely true. And I actually remember that was a whole thing, a whole conspiracy. That was whenever the whole Iraq war and stuff was going on, where he was explaining about how, you create the Manchurian Candidate, and, they were connecting it to Bush at the time too, as a matter of fact.
Conspiracy theory with Jesse Ventura.
Mm-hmm. I think it was just Conspiracy Theory. I think it was the name of the show.
Yeah, Conspiracy Theory. And then let's look at, because he did HARP, he did all that. Let's do MK Ultra. Let's see if it's even on the web.
Archive.
Yeah, MK Ultra. Okay, Manchurian Candidate, MK Ultra.
Whenever we talk about MK Ultra, guys, what you have to understand is it's basically high tech hypnosis. You're talking about hypnotism. You're talking about hypnotism on a level of like practice between a handler and a person over and over again, where they say, oh, go out here and buy a milkshake or whatever, and you don't remember ever going to buy the milkshake because you're in a different state of consciousness. That's what MK Ultra is.
I got it. You know what the title of this is? Jesse Ventura, Conspiracy Theory, Season 4, MK Ultra, and Spring. Mind-controlled assassins and MK Ultra.
No wonder they tried to get rid of the episode.
Wow. All right. So, I found the video. Maybe you guys want to watch it later. It's on Daily Motion. I don't see the whole episode on YouTube. But anyways, it's wild. All right. So they can program people to kill on MK Ultra. I just wanted to, let you know, political cartoon. Original Clag, I'm loving the steadfast loyalty to the memory of those who did not go home on 9/11, 2001. Never forgotten. Amen. God bless you, Clag. He was, you were just going into the fire business on 9/11, 2001, I believe. And Shady is wearing your hat.
Much love, Clag.
Boom. Love you.
God bless Sacramento Fire Department.
Yep. And, going back to that, I lost 70 people that I knew that day. In fact, Howard Lutnick talked about losing, friends and people from his business called Cantor Fitzgerald. I worked with his Cisco rep her name was Michelle Marfeo, who went to the roof and sent texts like, hey, where are the helicopters? I'm on the roof. The smoke is getting bad. My shoes are melting and sticking to the roof. Help. And she never came back. And then Frank Sudoka, my neighbor. I mean, this is a weird, heavy day for me, guys. Okay, so I don't have much patience, Shady Crew.
Okay.
All right. Then there was that.
A lot of us are in that.
Yeah, thank you. This is just overwhelming how they did this, okay? Because the occult need to do this. September, this day in an occult belief system is to give blood back to the earth, okay? 9/11, Benghazi 9/11, this 9/11, and then 9/10, Charlie Kirk. I mean, this is insane.
It really is. It really is, but it's all this is what happens whenever you create a political movement that moves against the establishment, okay? This is what America is supposed to pre-exist to stand against the establishment, but we are infected with the establishment to our core. You got 55, 60% of Democrats out there saying that they don't think that capitalism is a good idea. Well, the only alternative to that is socialism, which means a nanny state, which means they're lazy, and they're lazy and of no account. They don't have anything valuable to offer to the world, and so therefore they think that because they can't offer anything valuable to the world because they're lazy, that anything that you offer of value to the world isn't really value. And that's the reason. That's the reason they demoralize you and demean you and come at and talk about you, especially if you're a Christian. The way that the whole media treats you, the way that the media treats you as a Christian, the same way they treat the white male. You're a moron. You're an idiot. You're a smelly Walmart person. Like they connect the dots, and then they sit back in their smoke-filled rooms, and then they laugh all the way to the bank as they devalue your currency behind the curtain. These people are completely connected. The people that took Charlie Kirk are the same people that created 9/11.
Yeah. Who thinks this is creepy, Shady?
You get up in the morning and you doom scroll through things, and although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. There will be news sometime, just so you know, there will be news.
He was friends with school
shooters. You get up in the morning.
Yeah. Sorry, it just kept going like it always does. That's good. Oh, wow. All right. So, we need to make mental health great again. Those who attack you, those who mock you, those who call you, those who control you, do they represent you or do they represent themselves in some form? Like a mental enslavement, Shady.
bad to keep
The
our
message is
Second
so clear.
Amendment right. Hey, Donald.
Oh, here.
Thought I would check in after, today's activities. Charlie Kirk? I mean, he himself said a couple of deaths here and there aren't so bad to keep our Second Amendment right. And then later, another school shooting. Another one. Hey, by the way, I'm wearing a shirt just for you. So I thought maybe you should think about gun violence. I bet if you ask Charlie now if he thought a few deaths so that everybody got to keep their Second Amendment rights was okay by him, I think he'd probably say, as long as it wasn't me. Guess he shouldn't have manifested that shit. He definitely manifested it. So, Donald,
That is
about
a
that
demon.
gun violence.
Man.
How many times have I made a TikTok after a violent gun shooting? I know there have been at least a few, Donald. Yeah, at least a few. I wonder if he was just born a criminal and that's why he shot. That's why he shot Charlie Kirk.
That right there, my friends, is not a product of mental disability as much as it is a product of media consumption. Okay? I know that you want to, whatever, but these people would not be like this if the media weren't lying to them. The media, which they deem credible, I'm sorry, but they deem it credible. It's not my fault. It's not your fault that they think that the media is credible. At one point in your life, you thought the media was credible too. And then you realized that it wasn't credible. But at one point, you stood up for some dumb crap you saw on TV. And then you realized one day, oh my God, like they're not telling me the truth. These people don't understand that. So the media is feeding them this stuff, this fascism stuff. They're trying to pretend, the media is pretending that Donald Trump is a fascist. The media is pretending that we want to eliminate transgender people. There's no person out there that is saying that you want to eliminate a transgender person. People are saying you're going to get transgender people out of women's sports. But the media takes that and they sell it to the transgender like you want to kill them. And so this person that you just saw right there thinks that, just follow me here, this person thinks that you want to kill transgender people. So because you want to kill transgender people, she feels righteous in her indignation. Does she not? Think about this on the human level. Think about this like, what is the media doing to us? In a real world where both parties, you and her, had real information, does that demon manifest?
Yeah. I mean, Shady, we've said it over and over and over. If you're an adult and you want to do whatever you want to do to yourself, okay, by all means, have at it. And I, as American taxpayer, do not want to pay for one single dime, okay? All right, so you can do it and stay away from my kids, our kids. Now, Shady, I wanted to show you this, too, before we go to Donald Trump's announcement last night. This is something to keep in mind as you listen to Donald J. Trump. This is QPOS 817. Who do you think is leaking the info? Take a wild guess. Analyze, shooter, pawn, voices in his head. We know. We are taking action behind the scenes. CNN was set up. Stupid Q. Libel laws. End of MSM. I'm waiting for this Q post to be a Q proof, Shady.
We're one step closer, dude. I get fired up about this, but they do not have the right. They're going to claim free. You don't have freedom of speech to yell fire in a crowded theater. Why is what the media is doing by lying about fascism, by lying about Trump, by lying about you being like the guy yesterday, the Dowd guy said that Charlie Kirk was out there always spouting hate speech. and white nationalism. You cannot find a clip anywhere of Charlie Kirk spouting hate speech. If anything, he's got the patience of an angel, the way he would sit there and listen to those idiots spew their rhetoric, and you're trying to act. Like I said before, they are doing something to us to cause us to attack each other. It's just like the meme says that I posted yesterday. No, sir, the guy says to the king, you don't have to do anything to them. All you have to do to get them to stop is to tell the pitchfork people that the torch people said that they weren't allowed to have pitchforks. You see, take away their pitchforks and then they'll attack each other. Is that not verbatim what you can see the military-industrial complex engineering right now in this country with all of these different assets that they have on the ground that has been going on and on and on, starting with July 13th of last year? Look at what we've seen, Jeff, in a year. And now we're like dealing with this graphic images of Charlie Kirk and all of these people that have, one side is going one way and the other side saying he's still alive already. They're already doing it.
And then people with Q in their names are acting like it's fake and it's a movie and it's
AI. They're acting like that Charlie Kirk bleeding out live on TV is artificial intelligence and it's not real and he's really been taken into custody somewhere. Oh God, bro. I mean, it's no.
I know.
So
I want to play because, I wanted to, go over that Q post one more time so it's fresh while we listen to Donald Trump, okay? This is 8/17, okay? We're, taking actions behind the scenes. This is about shooter and the pawn, analyze the shooter, pawn, libel laws, end of MSM. And remember, look to Twitter, exactly this. My fellow Americans, a storm is upon us, ... God bless. And Donald Trump talks about being a dark day. Let's listen to Donald J. Trump. Oh, and by the way, it says, to my great fellow Americans. Okay, here we go. On Twitter.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America.
A dark moment.
Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
May God bless. Again, God bless. Okay. Now, the storm is upon us. You can look at this in a couple of different ways, because he didn't exactly say that. I get it. But he said it's a dark day. What happens when a storm is happening? It's dark. What happens when, they compare you to Nazis? We're looking at the storm, right? The Nazis, the Blitzkrieg, they're a storm. They're the Nazis, Shady Groove. I'm not saying that this is a Q-proof or anything like that, but it is very interesting.
They are absolutely 100% the Nazis. And I would like to actually, matter of fact, hearing him say that, thank you to Camping World, by the way, because here in locally where I'm at, as I drove by yesterday, they had the flag down to half-mast within 30 minutes of Donald Trump making that statement, which I thought was absolutely amazing, because there's nobody else out here in Oregon that's going to respect the murder of a great American patriot. So some people heeded the call.
Yeah, I know a lot of people did. And, there's even people that are not Republicans, okay, that are no longer liberals because of your screwed up ideology, okay? This is not okay. You guys are acting like we're the party of peace, and yet you guys are committing all the violence. Okay, and then they bring up January 6th, which I believe was a Fedsurrection, okay, led by some people, rogue elements in the FBI, possibly, allegedly, General Flynn, Charlie Flynn, Michael Flynn, okay, Roger Stone, the Proud Boys, and the Oath Keepers. And now you got Laura Logan backing up Enrique Tarrio when we watched a movie of Roger Stone and him leading an insurrection, a fake insurrection on the Capitol, okay? And now they're pointing at you, so Laura Logan is like saying that Shady's bad, and that puts a target on us, Laura Logan. Okay, the way that you guys speak about us puts a target on us, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of your bull crap, because I can't swear, but you know what I meant. And I'm tired of people attacking this show. I'm tired of people censoring this show. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all of it, Shady. I'm tired of these military industrial complex pieces of crap, Shady.
I'm tired of it too. Because it's very interesting to see exactly how they coalesce. Because the truth of the matter is, in their attack against me, they've actually proven my point. Yeah. And I'll leave it there.
Yeah. Yeah, good for you. Because, we ask questions. They say we make up stuff. Did I make up anything, or did I show you a movie? Or, of them actually saying it? Oh, it's AI. Yeah, right, Roger Stone, it's AI. AI, degenerative AI. It's real, okay? It's real. And you guys will be caught. And I can't wait to see the day.
And I made the very, very easy to make point that Charlie Kirk was agreeing with Bannon and Logan's BS, which he was. And I called it out. And now they're acting like I did something wrong by calling out the BS. So like I said, I'm not trying to make a big deal about it. I see it happening. I did not entertain it or address it. I let it lay, because I know exactly what it was that I meant by that. And if I felt embarrassed about it, I would have probably gone back and made sure it wasn't there, which I didn't do, because I'm not.
Yeah. And we can't even respond because those cowards block us.
Me. They all blocked me. So
yeah, they block Mikey Mariano. They block me. They block you, because they don't want me to put my thread of, hey, this is why we're asking questions.
Because Roger Stone is a liar.
Does Roger Stone lie?
Yeah, and matter of fact, the reason that Enrique is doing that is because every time that I make a post and go after Roger Stone Jr., this is why I do it, Enrique, if you're listening. I'm doing it so to lure you to my Twitter page. You see, every time I make a post about Roger Stone Jr., Enrique Terrio pops up to defend him. And a lot of people are noticing that. And so I'm making a tradition of it. And so thank you for playing the shady game.
The shady game. I love it. All right. So there is some language in this, but let's go ahead and watch.
So breaking fucking news, Charlie Kirk got shot in the fucking neck. That was the last bastion. I can't be a liberal no fucking. You see the fucking comments? I hope the gun is okay. The same fucking people asking for moral decency. I cannot in good faith align myself with you guys anymore. I once had a headache. You'll be alright. Cause you don't agree with him politically? Okay. Whatever happens next, in retaliation, whoever did that shit, I hope they throw the whole fucking book at you. The whole fucking book at you. Why I did not agree with his views, when you put violence in a fucking equation, all this shit goes out the window. Everything that you stand for goes out the fucking window. Who's next? Candace Owens? Take that shit as a warning. Stop doing the fucking public panels, bro. Stop doing all that. Oh, what do you think about him? These people are fucking insane. Oh, well, both sides are... No, these people are fucking insane. Dude, things are gonna get very... Do not speak politics at all in public. Do not do that shit. These people are fucking unwell. Protecting fucking dickhead stabbing Ukrainian girls in the butt. Protecting fucking shooters just because they think they're the other gender. You people make me fuck.
They're losing their own, Shady.
But that's also a psychological operation trying to scare everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it's like people want to be
so breaking.
Like I can't even begin to describe to you, and I'm not going to, the threats that I've received myself since the moment that I started talking into one of these things. Going back 8 years now, since the moment that we, I started the Q Lounge. I brought Jeff in. We started to talk about the bloodlines. We started to get in depth on the bloodlines, and that's when the death threats started. The death threats increased and went gangbusters whenever I could no longer lie to you or pretend I didn't see things because to go along to get along. You see, they wanted me to lie to you. They wanted me to pretend like that the things that I was seeing about General Flynn weren't something that I was seeing. You see, they call me a grifter because I told you those things. You see, in all reality, if I had have lied to you and I had have ignored those things, wouldn't that have made me the grifter? That would have made me the person that is out there saying things that I don't actually think. That would have made me the Alex Jones of the world. That would have changed the dynamic of what the two of us are doing here because we were projecting or speaking something that we didn't think. It wasn't very long after the point that Joe Flynn was on our show saying that we created Arabella Advisor, we created our whole network this exact same way of Arabella Advisors, that we realized how you're utilizing the 501c4 aspect of this to fund your operations within the country. Okay, yeah. That's what you're doing. And now we see it, and we see it for everybody that is doing it. And the USAID is dried up, and all these other things are drying up. And now all of a sudden you have political violence. And even that guy right there that was out there, these people are trying to tell us that we can't talk in public. That's what they're saying. If you go out and talk in public, Shady, you're going to get shot.
Yeah. I want to address another psychological operation that's going on out there. Moody Magpie, I'm going to use you as an example because you brought it up. Recently, Charlie questioned Israeli government, not the people who he loved, start with Mossad. So that was someone saying that Charlie Kirk said that it's an operation. All of this is a psychological operation. Okay, I don't think, I'm not saying that Mossad did or didn't do it. I'm not saying the CIA. I'm not saying all these rogue actors did or did not do it. I'm saying that we just got to look at the whole thing as a whole. Okay, they want you to focus on these little parts. That way that you don't like Jewish people, right? It's not the Jews. It's the occult elite, guys. These people do not believe in God. They don't think like you. We don't understand it fully. That's why they're so good at what they do, Shady.
The Mossad, the CIA, and the internal corrupt military-industrial complex are the same thing.
Yeah,
that there's a cooperation. This is the reason This is the reason that we are under the assault that we are on, is because we can clearly see that these activities are the same. They're all operating in theaters that you cannot identify. Once you've bought and got all this off-book money, you can buy any property anywhere. You can buy any person anywhere. You can maneuver anything and make anything look like anything else. That's why it's so important to only think what it is you are able to prove.
So Beaver Nation said our local radio show host this morning suggested Tucker Carlson as a replacement for Charlie, but he is a huge promoter of the Flynn Network. Now, I got to tell you that I did think about this last night, okay? What better way to get your Great Reawaken tour to the next level? I'm just going to leave it there, Shady.
That's a good point. I'm tracking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see what happens, okay?
We're following the truth.
That's all.
And wherever the truth goes, whatever it is we can prove, we're going to report to you, and we're going to get your feedback on it in real time.
Yep. And if, it happens to be that organization, we will report it. But I'm not, I saw what you were looking at. It was a tweet from somebody that's not Charlie Kirk that said that he heard and, hearsay, form a narrative. That's what it was. And, we've got to put on our logic hats and just, go through some of this stuff, Shady Group.
I'm hoping everybody's noticing that they grab a hold of anything. What you're realizing is, I think that we just learned this because we paid attention to the board so much and watched all these people and how they would do it. They would take any little piece of something and they would grab it and they would conflate it. Okay, so if you see somebody taking a piece of something and conflating it, that is a globalist propaganda, psychological operation, virtue signal tactic being used against you. You can't just take one little piece like, oh, Jeff and Shady went and spoke here, so therefore they are the whole entity. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. You went to Shell gas station, so you are Shell gas station.
I don't want to be Shell gas station.
That's who you are. I'm a decoder.
I'm going to Exxon.
I'm blurry.
You are blurry. Actually, I just noticed that. Hey, bud, how you doing?
All right, there we go.
I don't know.
There we go. All right. Blurry. All right. So, witnesses described on the shooting scene, they said it wasn't that guy. Kash Patel, I believe, was just being transparent with you, and you guys are all mad, but that's what transparency looks like. It's not always going to be right, but it's transparent. I'm just kind of trying to summarize what we saw today. Charlie Kirk, one of his last posts on September 9th was America will never be the same. He's right. It literally is a turning point. It's interesting that he named it that, that organization that way, and it became so big, and it now really is a turning point in the conversation. And these people will not go away peacefully. Okay, we need to all have our heads on a swivel. We need to be careful out there because this mental derangement, mass mind control, is very effective and has been very effective. Okay, your friends, your family, they all act the same way that demon did that I played for you earlier on in the show. And I want you guys to be careful. I want you guys to just, be able to speak up as well. We're not going to stop, Shady Groove. I mean, maybe we should, get out there and start talking,
I'll talk to anybody. I'll talk to anybody that wants to talk. And I have a couple of ideas of maybe some people that are ready to listen to what it is that we're trying to explain about the in-depth nature of what it is we are uncovering here. Because essentially, we are whistleblowers who are uncovering the biggest story in American politics, which is the military coup that occurred on January the 6th, 2020, in tandem with the FBI, the CIA, the intelligence apparatus, the Congress, and almost every single media person you could spot.
Yeah.
That's a big news story.
Yeah. It really is. It
and,
really is.
And to just put a little bit of a wrap up on Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk went and sat down with Gavin Newsom. Charlie Kirk went and sat down with Bill Maher, and Bill Maher offered him alcohol and he offered him pot, and Charlie Kirk said no, thank you.
So wait, isn't he Bill Maher now?
No, sir.
Isn't he Gavin Newsom? That's how it works.
No, sir.
Imagine that.
He was unafraid.
He was unafraid. He was a patriot of the highest order. I do respect him. I love what he did with the, with the youth in today's world. Shady Grove, God bless. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. And we'll be right back after these beautiful boom messages.
hello to all of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's a 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
There is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received the generous $500 donation from Spill Tea, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20% and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Put on the full armor of God. This post was used twice, as our fine patriots are saying. And while we do that, this is the post, the second one, 3594. Finally, be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything to stand, stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of Spirit, which is the word of God. Prepare for God and country, for humanity. We fight. Q. Do not fear. Q. Amen. Welcome back to the MG show. That was an interesting one there at Shady Groove, how that one lined up as well. We told that story before, but put on the full armor of God, guys. Thank you, Shady. Welcome back.
Oh, man, thank you so much. I think that we all needed that today. I think that I'd like to thank everybody for lifting us up, for lifting this show up, and everybody in your prayers every single day. What we're doing here is what I would consider a heavy lift. This is not a broadcast where we sit around and talk about conspiracies. This is a broadcast where we sit around and we explain what the truth is and exactly how it is that you could prove the truth on your own if you were to ever to desire to do so. One thing that I'd like to share with everybody, Jeff, is that, it's like a long time ago, I started orienting myself whenever I wanted to talk to people about things, and I got over my skis a little bit and I said too much and I got called out. And so I decided that I could do something different, which was actually learn what it was that I was saying in a way to where when people challenged me on the things that I was saying, I could argue with them in a way that would cause them to realize that my position was very persuadable. In other words, having your ducks in a row whenever you're talking to people. This is called red pilling. And whenever you red pill, when you're truly red pilling someone, not when you're sitting around talking about conspiracy, when you're truly red pilling someone, your intent has to be pure. And your intent has to be to inspire. Okay? And this is the message. Right here is the message. Look at the people that Charlie Kirk inspired.
Yeah.
Look at the people that Charlie Kirk inspired now have the opportunity to inspire. And I would impart to you to say that calling people stupid, saying people are dumb, doing all of these different things that you're doing, we are to some degree playing into their game. Okay, all these people out there that want to, call them libtards and talk about all these people. That's the reason that I was trying to make the point about the nut job that we saw in the video earlier. No human being is any better than the quality of the information that they currently deal with. That is an absolute fact, and you can't deny that. So what we would like to do is we would like to have you see your position in life as a person that can re-inspire. If this show or our broadcast or our voices have inspired you, that is not for you to be inspired. That energy is meant for you to take it and inspire someone else. And that is the core of what it is that I feel like I'm passionate about, that we do every day here. Whenever we say the truth is learned, it's never told, we are trying to inspire people to learn the truth for themselves, because not us, not anybody can tell you the truth.
Yeah, you have to learn it. It's not told.
That's right.
Yeah, very well. That's very well said, Shady Grove.
Thank
Press
you, sir.
17 if you like Shady's little diatribe. Was it a diatribe? No, that was a Shady rant.
It was a mild
calm
rant. Yes.
Shady rant, but
Yes.
very well said. And we said that in the YouTube days when everybody's like, "Oh, effing liberals," and I'm like, maybe we shouldn't call them, libtards, and maybe we shouldn't call them these names. Maybe we should actually treat them like humans, even though we think they're wrong. And because when they wake up, I want to be there for them. I don't want to be the guy that guy called me names, and that will prolong the awakening process. Now, wouldn't it? I want that person that I might have planted a seed in their head, and it's happened. I've had people say, "Oh my God, Jeff, you were right. I was once a Democrat, and I didn't agree with what you're saying, but I see what you're saying now." You see, you plant the seeds, as Shady's talking about. That Charlie Kirk challenged people's beliefs and planted seeds in their minds for them to do what's right. And if you grew up in my generation, Shady, in our generation, he's espousing everything that we thought was a conservative value. There's nothing new about a government that runs efficiently, right? There's nothing new about watching the money, right? We're conservative. We don't want to spend all this money, but yet we did. We don't want to go to war. We want peace, right? That's what the conservatives used to want until PNAC, Project for a New American Century, and all that jive with the Bush, cult. Okay, the death cult has taken over this country, guys, and we need to remain vigilant and remain not being afraid to talk to people. Shady, we can't be afraid to talk. They can't sign. It's the death of America if we can't talk anymore.
Can we combat them with the life cult?
Yes.
Okay. Because the
pro-life
love cult. We're going to call it the love cult.
The love cult, baby.
We're going to combat them. So basically, it sounded to me like you were saying that there might be some benefit to loving your enemy.
Mm. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For saying it.
Yeah. Well said. And I had a little Jeff rant. If you like the Jeff rant, you feel like, giving us a couple, shekels, we'd really appreciate it. And nice thank you to the donors as well already. We appreciate you. I shouted you out, and can't thank you guys enough, man. It's just amazing. Thank you.
This whole journey's been amazing.
Yeah, it really has. And I want to just do this real quick, Shady, because we got it.
We got it.
All right, Yeti, let's do this because. Hey, football lunatics, are you ready for some primetime NFL action? Tune in to Westwood One. For all the gridiron glory you crave, from jaw-dropping touchdowns to game-changing plays, do not miss a moment of the excitement. Catch every snap, every tackle, every victory on the Westwood One. You can listen to the NFL on the NFL app, on Westwood One Sports app, on WestwoodOneSports.com via Westwood One station streams, or by asking ALEXA to open Westwood One Sports. Open Westwood One Sports, ALEXA. If it's the NFL, it's on Westwood One. Boom. Thank you very much. Yeah. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Love it. All right. So I wanted to go ahead and, what was I going to do, Shady? Oh, I want to just play one more thing last night, because Jesse, I was in real time trying to find, information that was relevant to what was happening to Charlie Kirk yesterday. We're not going to show the video. If you saw it, you saw it. It's disgusting. I'm not going to dishonor him with fake QD codes. Okay. I'm not going to dishonor him by thinking that he's not, the white hats took him. Okay. No, I'm going to honor him because he was murdered in cold blood. And it's not funny. It's disrespectful of what some of these people are doing, Shady Groove.
It absolutely is disrespectful, and that's part of the reason we've been calling out this nonsense from the beginning about saying that, that Biden is a guy in a mask, all of these people have already been Gitmoed, JFK Jr. is alive. This is the reason all of these, Donald Trump is really the super secret president. Well, that means exactly that. That means that all the terrible things that happened, Donald Trump did to you. People can't solve the logic. They're adrift in hypnosis.
And how does that look like to your friends that you're trying to wake up?
Not very, it looks like you're a lunatic.
Right. All right. So Jesse Waters did very good job on his monologue, and I do want to play it because it's a lot of the stuff that I posted on my Twitter account at In the Matrix with 3X's on X, and at Shady Groove with 3 O's. You want to make sure you follow us and help share our content because we are majorly being shadow banned on X. I wonder why. Here we go.
Charlie Kirk assassinated. The president breaking the news. The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you. Charlie was loved by all of us. He had a beautiful family, married the love of his life, Erica, just 4 years ago. 2 children, son and a daughter. And he touched generations of Americans. But he was taken from us. You've probably seen the video. Charlie was holding a Turning Point USA event at Utah Valley University. He was on his Prove Me Wrong tour, where he takes questions from students and engages in friendly debate.
Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Okay. Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm going to give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
A second later, he was shot in the neck in the middle of the quad, sitting underneath a banner that said, "The American Comeback." We know 1 round was fired and reportedly from 200 yards away, just 50 yards more than Butler, from a nearby campus building. 1 man was taken into custody, but police later determined he was not the gunman. But we do have good news. The actual person of interest has been apprehended. That's according to FBI Director Kash Patel. They're being interrogated. And the governor of Utah says the killer will pay the ultimate price.
I want to make it crystal clear right now to whoever did this, we will find you. We will try you. And we will hold you accountable to the furthest extent of the law. And I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah.
And we're actually just hearing now that they have released the suspect who they thought was the killer. Police say they'd used surveillance video from the campus that showed the suspect wearing all black running away from the scene. Before Charlie was shot, students actually noticed a guy walking on the roof. And the FBI tells Primetime they're aware of this tape that shows someone crawling across the roof before Charlie was shot.
Getting right up.
Yeah. You think he'd already be in place?
You would think that. So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying? He just ran from over, where's my finger? Well, from over there, ran in. And now he's right there. Just saying.
After the round was fired, another camera captured another person running across the roof in the distance. Charlie immediately lost a lot of blood after the bullet hit his neck and was rushed to the hospital and then was pronounced dead. Immediately afterwards, Matthew Dowd on MSNBC said it was probably a fan who didn't know how to handle his gun.
We don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea.
Oh, and then it got worse. MSNBC said Charlie deserved to die.
And by the way, this guy's been fired, okay?
He's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech. You can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
MSNBC has already apologized, but Dowd should be fired immediately.
He was.
It's traitors like that who make it easier to get murdered. Charlie wasn't president. He wasn't even a politician. He was a young political star defending American freedoms, especially the freedom of speech. And if guys like Charlie are targets for assassination, we all are. Charlie Kirk's just like you and me. We speak our minds. We speak from the heart. We tell the truth because we believe in the country and everything that it was founded on. Charlie had the spirit of our founders, full of energy, passion, conviction, and an unrelenting pursuit of happiness. Charlie was always happy. You never saw the guy down. He loved what he did, and he never stopped working and fighting and pushing and persuading. Charlie Kirk grew up in the Chicago suburbs. Great athlete, good family. Dropped out of college to join the Tea Party and start a movement. He set up systems to watch professors and stop their indoctrination. Then he built up chapters across the country on campuses and launched Turning Point USA, creating the largest and best organized political mission for young Americans ever. His events were like concerts, the biggest stars on the right twice a year. We all had a blast. He left it all out in the field for Trump in 2024 and turned out the vote on the ground in the swing states. He had one of the highest rated podcasts in the country and was in constant contact with the president, J.D. Vance, helping push policy, execute an agenda, and communicate ideas. And he was able to raise millions and millions of dollars because people believed in Charlie. He was charming and earnest and never took a day off and was trusted by everybody who knew him. No one ever said a bad word about Charlie Kirk. Every time he did a hit on my show, he'd text me afterwards saying, "Thanks, Jess, for having me on. Really appreciate it." My 13-year-old daughter loves him. Grandparents love him. Charlie wasn't offensive at all. He wasn't trying to be provocative. He was a gentleman. He just asked questions, enjoyed debates, just like America's greatest leaders always have.
He intentionally tried to provoke substance out of you. And you said, well, I'm worried about some laws Congress should pass. I have to ask, what laws are you talking about? Because what's happening at the Democrat Party is this very sinister combination. It's a party of censorship, it's a party of war, a party of open borders that is against actual traditional liberal values. Everyone in the audience is the first generation in American history to have it be worse off than your parents.
I'm not policing your language. I'm just saying I would say black
Fair
people.
enough, but the insinuation is that I'm being racist. But that's fine. I agree. So then why are we so fixated on the language of Trump and not on the actions of our current leaders?
They killed Charlie for asking questions. What kind of message does that send? Don't ask questions. It's too dangerous. Charlie spoke the truth. He said what he felt, and they killed him for it. The message is shut your mouth. If you can be murdered for speaking your mind in America, then America's done. We might as well live in the dark ages. And this isn't the first time this has happened. This is just the worst time. They shot Trump. They went to Kavanaugh's house with a rifle. They're firebombing Elon's cars, rioting in LA. Trans shooters are killing our kids. They just plugged 2 Jews outside the embassy in our capital. Hell, Rand Paul got his ribs broken by his neighbor. ICE agents have to wear masks because their families are getting death threats. It's officially over now. After today, we're not taking it anymore. They're telling us we're at war.
We're in a war right now to save this country, and so you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
This is a war we didn't ask for, and this is a war they can't win. The way to win is to do what Charlie did. Speak your mind louder. Tell the truth more. Put so much pressure on all of these people that they never try anything like this again. This is a turning point. Everything that we've witnessed recently is unacceptable. Everyone's going to be held accountable in the media, in Congress, on campus, everywhere. So follow your heart. Fight for what you believe in. And don't be ashamed of putting America first. We know what's right, and we know what needs to be done. Challenge them harder. Ask more questions. And like Charlie, chin high and do it with a smile.
Yep. God bless you, Jesse. Good job.
That was very well done. And, it's almost like he was watching, what we were posting on Twitter. He put that all together very, very well. The rooftop video, everything, we found that, the guy running across. And people are asking when that happened. Well, they were walking to the event and they saw it. And, it was just before the event, just minutes before the event started. It was a very good tribute, Jesse. I do appreciate, him. I appreciate him following me. I appreciate meeting him. And he was like, "You're in the Matrix." Just very honored to know Jesse Waters like that, Shady. He did great.
It's interesting to watch all of the people at Fox who had, associations, who had relationships, in-depth relationships with Charlie. And then you kind of hear their stories and you all of a sudden see something a little bit different, don't you? You all of a sudden see the guy that never didn't have time for somebody. And that reminds me a little bit of the guy that's in the White House right now. You know, the guy that never doesn't have time for somebody, always has time to say it's okay, always has time to say, give a hand up, give a handshake, give a hug, give an encouraging message. What if we all started doing that? What if we all started, whenever we find ourselves to be triggered, or we find ourselves to be in a moment of where we cannot believe how disgusting these people are being, what if we started saying something nice in the moment? You know, each and every one of us, would that temper the current conflict? You know, I saw a couple people mention World War III in the chat, talking about the idea of, like, you know, what they're trying to do, or Civil War in the chat, talking about what it is that they're trying to incite, and you are 100% over the target with that. So how do we diffuse that? How do we counter what they're doing? We love one another. You know, we realize that the transgender people are confused because they are being fed confusing information. And you could take a step back and say, wait a minute, would I be confused if I were taking those drugs and being fed that information and being told that people were trying to do these things to me? How would I react? I think is the proper thing for us to try to get over the hump that we're currently at, because the people that are, quote unquote, triggered by the transgender thing need to know that you're not trying to kill them, and the media is telling them that you're trying to kill them.
Yeah.
So therefore, that's why they're trying to kill us.
And again, we've said it here on the MG Show many, many times over. I don't care what you do as an adult. You're free to do whatever you want. You're free to be a gay man, a gay woman. You're free to mutilate yourself. I don't agree with it. I don't understand it, but you're free to do that. That's what America is. You are free. We don't need separate rights for different people. We are under the same Constitution of the United States of America. Okay. And if you don't like those people or whatever, you don't go to their stores. That's how you do it, right? We don't do it by hurting people, killing people, calling people names. You can do whatever you want to do as an adult. Okay. I, as a taxpayer, don't want to fund your mental illness. I believe it's a mental illness. You might not believe it's a mental illness. I think it is. I think the cocktail that they give people are hurting people and they're harming their mental health. Okay. It's probably a side effect that they're hiding from you. And we're going to get to the bottom of misleading pharmaceutical ads as JFK Jr. and, RFK Jr. and Donald Trump signed the executive order about false pharmaceutical ads. That's another reason why the globalists are pissed, guys. Things are happening. Now, I want to switch, Shady Groove. I want to switch now to 9/11. Okay. Today is 9/11, and it's a very special day for me. And I know everybody has a story. They remember exactly where they were. Shady, you probably know exactly where you were, what you were doing, and all that. You know, I worked in Manhattan, and that day my garage door was being replaced. Thank God. Okay. I was 1.3 miles away at One Penn Plaza, but I wasn't there that day because of a garage door, and I'm very thankful. I knew about 70. I stopped counting people that died that day. I want to honor one special person today, okay? And that's my neighbor, 2 doors down, Frank Sedilka. He left behind 2 beautiful daughters that used to come over and say, hey, can Jeff come out and play? That was before I even had Abby. They were beautiful kids. He used to ride around in our circle at Claremont Court in Long Island. And they'd be like little ducklings following behind Frank. It's beautiful. His wife, Nancy, 2 daughters and his wife, Nancy. He was born on May 3rd, 1916. He died on, obviously, September 11, 2021. And this is his card for his funeral. I went to many, but I really saved this one. Grieve not, nor speak of me with tears, but laugh and talk with me as though I were beside you. I loved you so. 'Twas heaven here with you. And that was the other side of the card. Okay, there he is there. This is the September 11th memorial. He lived right next door to me. He was a manager at Forte Foods. He normally was in the Chrysler building, but he was going to open his own restaurant in Queens. Okay. And he was only working for 3 days until Wednesday, September 12th, and never came home. He was helping Cantor Fitzgerald, the Windows of the World, just right by Cantor Fitzgerald. And Cantor Fitzgerald was one of my clients as well. A couple of months ago, I ran across a blog that was offering the opportunity to sign up and honor a victim of the 5-year anniversary. It continues to amaze me. The tragedy occurred 5 years ago. Now we're well past that. But, you know, This is amazing, guys. And I just wanted to actually just, honor Frank because, that Sunday I was bringing home groceries, Shady. You'd love this. And I was like emptying the car. And he's like, I hope you got steaks in there. And oh my gosh, we're doing a grill out. Come on over if you want and, have a drink or whatever. And he, didn't come but we were friendly neighbors and he was a great man. And his wife, signed a document for $1.1 million and then a $1.2 million document. It's called an NDA. You can't question anything or you'll lose your money. And she is, I think she had a hard time. I hope she's doing well in life today. And I hope her daughters are doing well in life today. But I know all this because I knew the people. And, this is the kind of thing that they do to hide people's opinions. They give you a lot of money and they say, sign here. And if you void that NDA, the non-disclosure agreement, so I ask questions. I have questions, So after that, I had to fire a lot of people, Shady. I had to fire 20 or more people from my Liberty District, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. Okay. And I was a manager and it hurt. Danny Breen, I hope you're out there. I love you, brother. I had to fire him, but I brought him back because I believed in what he was doing and he was like on plan and I brought him back. And the CEO says, do you really believe that this guy's good? I said, yes, I put my reputation on it. And he's now the leading sales guy in the organization still. Okay. So just and I know many of you have very personal losses, remembrances and everything, Shady. If you wanted to say a couple words, feel free. I just wanted to do that.
I'm so glad that you did. And one thing that, maybe I could, I wasn't, I've never really lived in the city, but one interesting thing that came out of after 9/11 was, that I thought was compelling was that it seemed like out of the 3,000 or so people that died in the Trade Center or in the event that day, whether it be the airplanes or the Trade Center, but mainly the people that were in the World Trade Center, it almost seemed like everybody in the city of New York knew one of them. Yeah. It was kind of crazy. Like everybody had a connection to someone that they lost that day, because when you live in a city like that, you run into everybody all over the place and everybody kind of just knows who you are. And I kind of like think back to that time of like the compassion and the outflow of support. And, everybody, George W. Bush was the president. It was an absolute laughing stock. But even around that, people were changing their attitudes. And it just brings me back to think about today and the day that we're in now. And like if some event like that were to happen in New York today, and 2,500 people that lived in New York were killed, like how many would everybody in the city know those 2,500 people today? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's like they've broken us up in a way since the Clinton administration that is going to be that Charlie Kirk was kind of trying to repair, to connect those two. Like that's effectively what Kirk was trying to do. Was he was trying to like seam up the conversation to where we had all like disassociated with one another. We saw the crazy video of the beautiful Ukrainian refugee with the guy behind her. Like nobody did anything around that. Can you imagine? I grew up in the South, and I cannot imagine for the life of me. It's like I was trained in first aid. Like the idea that you don't respond. The idea that I'm laying there, someone's laying there and no one responds, like that type of mentality is part of how the media is successful in their endeavors.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And, so I also had to help Goldman Sachs relocate around the city. I was escorted down to One Liberty Plaza when nobody could go down there. I walked through the ashes. I'm like, how did they find a passport in all this mess? I had a lot of questions, right? Because I was there. I actually worked for a little stint at a place called Harvard Net. Okay, they were based out of Boston, actually, right across from Boston, and they were in the Hood Milk Factory. Okay, believe it or not, if you know the Hood Milk Factory, if you're from Boston, but they opened a data center in New York City. Okay, Harvard Net was opening a 55,000 square foot data center in New York City at the Chelsea Pier building. Okay, Chelsea Piers had surface-to-air missiles on the roof. I saw them. That data center got taken over by the feds. We could never get it passed. It never. I think we funded it. Today, I believe it's ICE, Shady Group. I believe ICE owns that data center in Chelsea. It was an old printing company. Very interesting. So, I knew too many people. I knew a lot of people. It's very, very close to home. And now we got 9/10 with Charlie Kirk. I mean, guys, we need to use this to come together again, okay? Not fight one another. They want you to fight, but we need to come together. I remember, Shady, walking, the next couple of days, in New York City, people that normally wouldn't even look at you, they looked at you and smiled. They nodded. You looked at in Penn Station, you saw all the memorials, and people were there gathered and talking, and people were human again, Shady. Instead of got to get to work, don't smile. Everybody was human again, and I want to see that again in our society.
Well, with abundance, we can have that.
Yeah.
Part of the reason that mentality of the quote unquote the rat race is there is because literally we're all in a rat race. We've all been put on a hamster wheel, and nobody can get ahead. So it doesn't matter how fast you could spin that hamster wheel at 90 miles an hour, or at 100 miles an hour, or at 200 miles an hour, you can't get ahead. That is exactly what it is that I feel like that I signed up for whenever I supported Donald Trump, and that we signed up for. And the reason that we're digging in deep on this stuff with the Federal Reserve, because I feel like that what we're seeing here, you and I, this show, what we're seeing here is outside of the box of what anybody else is seeing about the in-depth nature to what it is, or the gravity to what it is that Donald Trump is actually doing for us by eliminating this unbelievable cancer. It's not Jewish people. It is a cancer of globalism. It's a mindset of surrender. Okay, you're as a human being, you've got two different points. You're either a fighter or you're a surrenderer. Okay, if they can teach you to surrender to everything, then remember what it said. It said that because people are more apt to accept something that is insufferable than to change it. That's literally the reason that we're here. That's literally the reason that America is different than everybody else, because we Americans are crazy enough to think that we can change something that we don't like. Okay? Most people don't have any power to change anything that they don't like. Most countries don't have a we the people. They can't change anything. But we can actually pick up the mantle, run with it, and change it. Look at the things that Donald Trump has been able to change for you in this country in the last 10 years. Go back to your 2014 self. Think about that self and what you were doing in 2014 before the end of Obama's term, and what you're doing today, and what the conversation is focused on. Back then, what was the conversation focused on? Look at what it's focused on today.
That's right. I want to thank Michael Fontian. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted subscriptions. I hope I said your name right. Grammy Anon says, it goes back to the Satanic Masons. No, it goes way further back than that, okay?
Further back.
It goes back to what we're covering, the Payseurs and the bloodlines that nobody wanted to cover. And Q post 1970, okay? Hey, Q, does P equal Payseur? That confirmed our research, Shady Group. So let's move on and go into President Donald J. Trump's full remarks today at the 9/11 observance ceremony at the Pentagon, okay? God bless you all, Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for allowing us to be here with you, and we wouldn't be here without you guys, okay?
It is you that keeps us on the air.
Can't tell you that enough. All right, Shady Grove, here's Donald J. Trump, my president, your president, at the 9/11 memorial at the Pentagon today. Because it was early. Shady, you were probably still almost sleeping.
I've not seen this yet, sir.
Here we go.
Before we begin, let me express the horror and grief so many Americans at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk have felt. Charlie was a giant of his generation, a champion of liberty, and an inspiration to millions and millions of people. Our prayers are with his wonderful wife, Eric, and his beautiful children. Fantastic people they are. We miss him greatly, yet I have no doubt that Charlie's voice and the courage he put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on. I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The date of the ceremony will be announced, and I can only guarantee you one thing, that we will have a very big crowd. Very, very big. Thank you, my fellow Americans. 84 years ago this morning, The banks of the Potomac were filled with the clamor of construction workers who broke ground on the building now known as the Pentagon on September 11th, 1941. At the time, it was the biggest building ever built. From that moment forward, this structure stood as a monument to American strength, power, and cherished American freedom. Exactly 6 decades later, on September 11th, 2001, those same walls, built with the sweat and muscle, blood of our parents and grandparents, were scarred by flame and shaken by terror as our country came face to face with pure evil. On that fateful day, savage monsters attacked the very symbols of our civilization. Yet here in Virginia and in New York and in the skies over Pennsylvania, Americans did not hesitate. They stood on their feet and they showed the world that we will never yield, we will never bend, we will never give up, and our great American flag will never, ever fail. That terrible morning 24 years ago, time itself stood still. The laughter of school children fell silent. The rush of our traffic came to an absolute halt. And for 2,977 innocent souls and their families, the entire world came crashing down so suddenly. In the quarter of a century since those acts of mass murder, 9/11 family members have felt the weight of missed birthdays and empty bedrooms, journals left unfinished, and dreams left unfulfilled. To every member that still feels a void every day of your lives, the First Lady and I unite with you in sorrow. And today, as one nation, we renew our sacred vow that we will never forget September 11th, 2001. Amid the horror of that morning, some used cell phones and office lines to whisper their final words to those who mattered most. They whispered indeed. At 8:59 a.m. aboard United Flight 175, Brian Sweeney called his wife, Julie. He told her, "Do good, go have good times. I totally love you. I'll see you again. I'll meet you up there." 4 minutes later, his plane hit the south tower of the World Trade Center. At 9:12 a.m. aboard American Airlines Flight 77, Renee May called her mom. Just the day before, Renee had learned that she was 7 weeks pregnant, but she never got the chance to share the news. She simply said, "I love you, Mom." 25 minutes later, Renee's plane struck the Pentagon. So violent, a strike it was. At 9:53 a.m. aboard United Flight 93, Elizabeth Waineo called her stepmom. "They're getting ready to break into the cockpit. What do I do? I love you so much. They're going to break in." 10 minutes later, Flight 93 ended in the hallowed field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. At 10:25 a.m., Tom McGinnis was trapped on the 92nd floor of the North Tower when he told his wonderful wife, Elena, on the phone, "There are people jumping from the floors above us. If we get out of here, it'll be a total miracle. I love you, darling. Take care of Caitlin, beautiful daughter." 3 minutes later, the tower fell. Out of the ash, we witnessed the awesome power of that incredible love. We've seen it rise again. Out of the wreckage, we watched unbelievable courage suddenly take form. And out of the darkness, we saw the timeless truth of American character shine for the world to see. In America, we take blows, but we never buckle. We bleed, but we do not bow. And we defy the fear, endure the flames, and emerge from the crucible of every hardship stronger, prouder, and greater than ever before. Last year, We were a dead country. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. In New York, there were heroes like Chuck Costello, a 46-year-old elevator mechanic and a member of the Knights of Columbus. He selflessly ran into the World Trade Center to free people trapped in the elevators. His body was not found until the following January, deep under the debris. While going through his belongings, Chuck's widow, Mary, a phenomenal woman, discovered a personal prayer written in his own words, "Help me to light the way for those in the dark. And when I enter the darkness, let me not panic, but patiently wait to remember the light." Beautiful words. When the time came, Chuck ran boldly into the darkness of hell on earth, and now he shines in the light of heaven above. We remember him this morning. That day we learned that the American heroic spirit was all around us. We saw it in the police officers, the great firefighters, the service members here at the Pentagon, and in the hearts of every American who answered history's call. One such hero was Army Sergeant First Class Steve Workman, who was on the edge of the impact zone when this incredible Pentagon was hit. He was right there. After leading hundreds of people to escape routes, Steve turned back and plunged into the inferno itself. Pushing through the debris, he came upon a severely burned Navy lieutenant, the only survivor from the Navy Command Center. Only one. The wounded lieutenant looked into Steve's soul and said, "Don't let me die." Steve replied, "I won't. I've got you. Just hang on." He wheeled the lieutenant out of the wreckage on the back of a maintenance cart before getting in the ambulance and taking him to Walter Reed Hospital. That man Steve saved, Lieutenant Kevin Schaefer, went on to join the elite team of CIA operatives who located Osama bin Laden. Steve, you're an American hero. We appreciate it. We appreciate what you've gone through. Please stand. Please stand. Where are you? Oh, good-looking man. You're a good-looking guy. You remember that day. You remember that day. Good. Thank you very much, Steve. That was something. That was something. In the years that followed, America's warriors avenged our fallen and sent an unmistakable message to every enemy around the world. If you attack the United States of America, we will hunt you down and we will find you. Go all over this sometimes magnificent earth. We will crush you without mercy and we will triumph without question. That's why we named the former Department of Defense the Department of War. It will be different. We won the First World War. We won the Second World War. We won everything before that and in between. And then we decided to change the name. Well, now we have it back to where we all want it. Everybody wanted it. Everybody is so happy to have it back. You will fail and America will win, win, win. The enemy will always fail. 24 years have passed since that Tuesday morning in September, and an entire generation of Americans have come of age in a totally different world. While they cannot remember the agony of that day, they are carrying on the legacy of those who lost. Around 8:30 a.m. on the morning of the attacks, Army Lieutenant Colonel Kip Taylor sent an email to his friends and family describing the joys of fatherhood and his excitement for the upcoming birth of his unborn son. He wrote, "After you have kids, there are days that you just get going and you say, 'Hi, honey, I'm home.' What we do until that moment pales in comparison, but just that little statement, 'Hi, honey,' so American, so beautiful. But that's really the point of it all, isn't it? An hour after he sent that email, Flight 77 flew into Colonel Taylor's Pentagon office and claimed the life of a very proud father and true patriot. 6 weeks later, on October 25th, 2001, Colonel Taylor's son, Luke, was born. Luke then tragically lost his mom to cancer when he was just 2 years old, leaving him to be raised by his father's brother. As a young boy, Luke asked his uncle about the folded flag on the bookshelf, and when he learned about his dad's decades of devotion to the Army and the horrors of September 11th, that's when he learned. Luke carried that memory with him and joined the ROTC as a college freshman. He graduated just last year, and I'm pleased to say he is with us today as a second lieutenant and doing very well. He's rising quickly in the infantry, preparing for Army Ranger School. He's spitting image of his dad, they say. Luke says that every time he puts on a uniform, he feels connected to his father and to our country. But it was a father he never knew. Luke, your parents are together in heaven, and they could not be prouder of the man that they have produced. They produced you. Those two great people produced you. Luke, please stand. Thank you. You look good, Luke. You look good. They're looking down on you. They're very proud. This morning, we recall the light of America's best and bravest and the love that they showed in their final moments. In their memory, we make a solemn pledge and a noble promise. We will honor always our great heroes, and you are our heroes. There's a group of people that don't want to talk about our heroes, but we will always talk about our heroes, and that's the way our country is, and that's the way the people feel. We will defend the nation they served, the values they upheld, and the freedom for which they died. We will support our troops, we will protect our families, and we will preserve the American way of life for every future generation. We will build taller, grow stronger, fight harder, and soar higher. And together we will go forward as one people with one heart, one fate, one flag, and one glorious destiny under Almighty God. May God bless the memories of those who died and the heroes who fought and the soldiers who still stand watch. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Donald Trump. Amazing. Amazing. And by the way, Shady, you got your friend here. Guitar Anons made a little appearance today on this day. Just hope you find Jesus, my friend. And, you're welcome to troll all you want because you're in the wrong chat. Shady.
Let him play.
I want to play this as well from SecDef Hegseth. Check this out.
The life, example, and even death of Christ follower and American patriot Charlie Kirk give me hope. Sheer courage, no matter the arena. Charlie, we love you. We know that you have heard the Lord's words. Well done, good and faithful servant. Full heart, clear eyes. Like those on 9/11, he will never be forgotten. So I thank God for all of you and all of our fighters from that day to today and beyond. May God bless our warriors as they ruthlessly seek our enemies on behalf of the fellow citizens they love. We owe you and all of those who witnessed 9/11 nothing less.
Nothing less. And, so this is amazing how this is all now a turning point. It's not just about 9/11 anymore. It's about free speech and somebody that spoke from his heart and believed in what he said and truly had a gift, Shady, of going into the trenches in these school, settings and speaking to people. He may not agree. They clashed, but he was very good at what he did.
it's a turning point in America, because the truth of the matter is that what it is that has been utilized against you for 100 years is dying. The system that has been implemented to infiltrate the American life and to divert, distract, destroy, manipulate, sideline, dissuade you from being the American that you were born to be, that machine is dying. And it's dying because no one is servicing it any longer. The Democrat Party are desperately holding on to that machine and thinking that it's their lifeline, but it's really the sinking Titanic, and we can all see it clear as day. Their machine to destroy America has failed. The military-industrial complex operations on J6, the federal government's operations, the media's operations, the operations of the people on the left and the right in Congress, all of this stuff that they've tried to do to enhance their own pocketbook at the expense of the American people, all of that has now failed. And it is falling into the pit of, or into the footprint of its own making. And thank you, God, for it. I think that Charlie Kirk marks a moment in our conversation where now, as Americans, you can clearly see that it is your opinion that they hate. Just like the gentleman that's in here right now coming at me. It's my research and it's my strength to say it that they hate.
Mm-hmm. And I'd like to play this too. I dug this up, and I'd like to show you this. This is on behalf of our little guest, Shady Grove. This is, what does Donald Trump Jr. really think of 3- and 4-star generals? But you'll have to understand who's with him and watch the person that's with him and watch his reactions. Check it out.
The 4-star, the 3- and 4-star generals, like they're political figures at this point. The guys that are the war fighters, it ends at about 2-star. And everyone else at that point is like an Obama political appointee. So, like, it's not going to jeopardize anything. If anything, if you get rid of those clowns and let the war fighters actually make the decisions, we're going to be much, much safer and much better off. The 4-star, the 3- and 4-star generals, like they're political figures at this point. The guys that are the war fighters.
Okay.
They've been put out to pasture, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. Was General Flynn elevated by Obama administration?
Yes.
Is he part of Trump administration?
No.
Get the heck out of here. All right, you're done. You're done, Guitar Anon. Stick a fork.
Leave the fork. Don't take the fork.
My God, these people are insane.
It's good.
It's good. All right, so the manhunt continues. President Trump was asked after he left the 9/11 memorial. Check this out.
But do the best we can.
Anything on the investigation or anything on the latest that you've heard from the FBI or Cash Patel?
They've reported to me so far pretty much what you're seeing in the news is what it is. They have a virtual manhunt out there, so we'll see what happens. We hope we get them. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
But
yeah, so we hope we get them. And, it looks like we could. Again, we'll look at the photos released by the Salt Lake City FBI. Let's get them on the screen right now. I wonder what Guitar Anon looks like. All right, so here it is right here, Shady Grove. There it is right there. There's the person right there of interest. Very interesting, feminine stature. In nature, it looks like very feminine to me, but I don't know. We'll see. According to that, the other thing here, it looks kind of like this guy with the mouth. Okay, and I posted about this Najara Galvez girl person, but if you look at the mouth, it's kind of similar. But these photos are truly blurry, and I hope that we do get this man, or if that's the person, whoever it is, okay? We need to get the killer of Charlie Kirk, because freedom is dangerous, guys. Enemies want to silence us. We have one in here today. If that was a true person that loves the Constitution, they would love that we ask questions about General Flynn. But General Flynn has to block us, Shady.
Oh, yeah, but then he sends his minions out to say that if you block people, then you're stifling the conversation and there's something wrong with you. So it's like, they try to have their cake and eat it too. We're taking it all away from them.
Take the L, digital swoller.
Take the L!
Wow, guys. Wow. All right, it's 2:00 already.
Man, what a hard show that was, guys.
Yeah, this is a hard show, guys. It was very, very hard. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk.
We need the people that he inspired to stand up, and we're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
They'll do it.
Yeah.
They're already doing it.
And we will never forget, guys.
Nope, we're never going to forget, and we're never going to surrender. God bless each and every one of you.
Yeah, and we're not going to shut up, Shady.
No, we can't do that. They don't allow it.
No. So maybe, Guitar Anon is, doing the same thing that, the left is doing to Charlie Kirk, pointing, hatred at us.
Maybe he is.
That's interesting. Why would you do that to somebody that supports Donald J. Trump if you support Donald J. Trump?
They don't.
Come on, man.
They support their cult leader only.
Oh, who's not in the administration?
He's not really even in the conversation, much less the administration.
Yeah. Pathetic, Shady Matrix. Stick to the known enemies, not your fabricated ones. Abe Lincoln, 5'5". Why don't you go look at my thread on Roger Stone filming the insurrection on January 6th? He made a movie about it. That's the hubris of these people. Charlie Flynn, Michael Flynn, ask questions. Why don't you quit calling me names and have General Flynn answer the questions that we have? How about that?
All I know, Jeff, is that Colonel Earl Matthews is the current top Department of War lawyer, and he knows all about Guitar Anon, and he knows all about General Flynn. He knows all about
Gamble.
all of them. He knows about Gamble, knows about Theriot, knows about Biggs. I would even imagine that he knows about Michael Hastings, but who's to talk about those things?
Ooh, wow.
We got your number, guys. Don't forget it.
We got your number, guys. And, again, the truth is bad enough. Guitar Anon, we love you. Shady Grove.
Much love, guys, everybody. We'll see you on Friday. We will be having another,
and just like I've told you
tomorrow, of the Pacer Bloodline research with the premium content here at the MG Show. Thank you all so much for signing up. And by the way, I'm happy to report that almost everyone who has signed up has stayed signed up for the Rumble Premium aspect of the show, because it is absolutely unbelievable information that we're digging into.
Yep. Every time these guys come at us, they get slapped down. How many years have we been attacked by these same people? 7, 8?
We're getting ready to click 8.
Wow, I love it.
A month or so.
Apparently, they're worried about us. God bless you. Share this show. See you guys later.
They'll hate you for it.
Oh, yeah.
And just like I've told you for many, many years, you don't have to lie about things. You don't have to sensationalize them. You don't have to make anything up. You don't have to invent figures. The truth is bad enough. The truth's bad enough. And if you tell the truth, you have credibility. And credibility means people will listen to you. Credibility means things will be tended to. When you lie and people find out that you're lying, and it's easy, it is so easy to discover, then you have no credibility. You become a liar. You become somebody with no confidence factor. You become a rumor monger. You become a minion of the old, who was it? Who was it that was billed as the great deceiver? I wonder who that was. See, whenever you spread a rumor, whenever you tell a lie, whenever you stretch the truth or sensationalize something, and I don't care what the reason is that you do it, you become an ally of the great deceiver. Somebody called him Heinrich Himmler. Somebody else called him Lucifer. Somebody else called him Satan. You can call him anybody you want. But listen to me very carefully. He's not anybody I want around me. His minions are not anybody that I want to know or be associated with or hear from. His minions and allies and supporters are not the people that I care about. You understand? You want to be on his side? Stay the hell away from me. Don't call me. Don't write me. Don't reference me. Don't email me. I don't want anything to do with you. If you're a spreader of rumors and lies and disinformation and sensationalization and all of this other bullshit. Do you hear me, sheeple? I don't know why it makes people so angry. You know, if all get off your butts and do the same research that I do, you would know the same things that I know, and you shouldn't be angry or jealous or upset. What you should be is thankful for having forewarning so that you can act upon it. But do you ever act upon anything? Have you ever? Will you ever? That's the question. That is the hinge upon which the door to the future operates. You don't know that. You don't give a damn, probably. Because to oil the hinge and make the door work and make it all better, you gotta get up off your ass and do something. Oh, heaven forbid you have to do that. Oh my goodness, you might even have to take some kind of personal risk. You might even get on somebody's list. Oh, people might even start to respect you because you cease to become worthless.
Ha!
But, oh, who am I to dream like that? Come on, Bill. I mean, you know, you're really getting away with yourself here, dreaming like that. Come on, Bill. Get real.
www.mg.show. Boom.